We were introduced to so many planets in the Star Wars universe over the years. The different planets held different and interesting settings for the vast amount of scenes in the Star Wars movies and shows. They are fairly important and each unique in their own way. Today, I'll be talking about 8 Star Wars planets we see in the Skywalker Saga films and breaking them down, giving you all the information and rich history behind them. They won't be in order or ranked. With that out of the way, I hope you enjoy this video. Let's get it. We'll start with the elegant Naboo. A beautiful planet, Naboo is rich with natural beauty such as grassy plains and waterfalls. Naboo is home to the amphibious Gungan species as well as a sparse amount of humans. Naboo also served as the birthplace of Sith Lord Emperor Palpatine. Despite it being his home planet, Palpatine never showed much love or any indication that he cared about the planet at all. As for history, the planet was originally home to Gungans only before the arrival of humans. Following a war with the humans, the Gungans engaged in combat with each other in what was known as the Gungan Tribal War. 14-year-old Padme Amidala was also elected to lead Naboo in later years. Amidala favored friendship, and following the invasion of Naboo by the Trade Federation, she befriended the usually isolated Gungans. As for society and culture, they encouraged children to become musicians, performers, painters, and heavily favored the arts in general. There were several schools on the planet that allowed students to enhance their artistic abilities. Both Naboo humans and Gungans had a close relationship with water. Fish was important in Naboo. Naboo appeared in all the prequels and many video games following. We next have the forest-ridden planet of Kashyyyk. Homeworld of the Wookiee species, Kashyykian wilds could be dangerous as it was home to dangerous species including Terran attacks and Y-shock spiders. Because of this, Wookiees tended to stick together in their villages. Kashyyyk had a decent history as well. In the years of the Clone Wars, Kashyyyk was attacked by the Confederacy of Independent Systems. Although the Wookiees were able to fight them off with the help of the Jedi, it did take a lot of effort. Kashyyyk also served as a target of the First Order. The First Order deployed stormtroopers to Kashyyyk in an attempt to enslave Wookiees. They were eventually stopped by Chewbacca. Kashyyyk was also in the same star system as Trandosha, home of the infamous Trandoshians. Trandoshans were traditionally enemies of the Wookiees. Kashyyyk's first canon appearance was in Revenge of the Sith, as the holiday special was not canon. Thirdly, we have Mustafar, a rather small planet located in the Outer Rim territories. The volcanic and brutally hot planet was mostly known for the famous Obi-Wan vs. Anakin battle in Revenge of the Sith, where, as we know, Anakin lost, turning him into the deadly and infamous Darth Vader. Despite the seemingly unlivable environment, Mustafar was full of life and the world held many dangerous predators. The apex predator was Shere Kare, which lived deep underground, and the Dark Ghast earned respect as well. As for history, during the Clone Wars, the Mustafarians chose the side of the Confederacy of Independent Systems, however they weren't exactly fully committed to them. They did so only for protection, and life on Mustafar continued as normal. Despite the fact that the planet was rarely visited, Palpatine and Cad Bane kidnapped 4 sensitive children and kept them on Mustafar to train them. Eventually, the Jedi were able to rescue the younglings upon hearing about the dilemma. In 19 BBY, a short time after Vader's loss to Kenobi, Vader returned to Mustafar to bleed a Kyber crystal in order to gain a crimson crystal to suit his Sith lightsaber. There is of course tons more history, but we won't go any farther in this video. As for the structures on Mustafar, we most notably have Vader's fortress, an obsidian tower built by Lord Momin. Mustafar's first canon appearance was in Revenge of the Sith. Next is Tatooine, possibly the most known planet in Star Wars history. Tatooine orbits 2 blazing suns, causing problems as the planet didn't have the surface water needed to survive. Therefore, many people chose the path of moisture farms. The planet was home to both the native Jawa and Tusken Raider species. Aside from these, Tatooine also had banthas, dewbacks, and the carnivorous krayt dragons. The cities of Tatooine were often blasted with sandstorms from the harsh Tatooine deserts. As for history, there were once legends of oceans, rainforests, and flowered fields on Tatooine before it all dried up. The planet was also known for criminal activity and smugglers. Din Djarin also visited Mos Eisley after his ship was damaged in a dogfight. While in a local cantina, he met another budding bounty hunter looking to capture Fennec Shand. They traveled into the Dune Sea on speeder bikes in hopes of finding Shand, but were baited into one of her tricks. Eventually, they were able to complete their mission in capturing her. Tatooine was also the birthplace of Anakin and Luke, and they had their own adventures there, as we all know. As for the economy, Tatooine largely ran off water and crime. Slavery, although technically illegal, was practiced throughout Tatooine all the time. A big part of Tatooine's culture was Bunta Eve, a holiday celebrated in honor of Bunta Hisilik Shadu Hutt, who became a god. We first see Tatooine in A New Hope. Next is Hoth, a devastatingly cold and icy planet. Located in the Inuit sector in the Outer Rim territories, Hoth's surface is mostly covered with frozen ice plains and glaciers. Hoth also served as the homeworld to the Wampa species, a yeti-like carnivorous mammal that stands around 3 meters tall. Hoth is known for hosting Echo Base during the Galactic Civil War. Eventually, the Empire located them and it turned into the Battle of Hoth. Following the Battle of Hoth, scavengers made temporary base camps on Hoth to loot the fallen AT-ATs the Empire used in the battle. Hoth had 6 moons and a rotation period took 23 hours, very close to Earth's. Hoth first appeared in The Empire Strikes Back, the second film of the original trilogy. Hoth scenes were filmed in Finse, Norway as it best suited the planet's cold landscape. Next up, we have Endor, a small forest moon. Endor was covered in woodlands, savannas, and tall mountains, and was home to the famous Ewok species. Some of Endor's trees reach 1,000 meters in height, around 25 times the height of the average tree. When the Galactic Empire thrived, they decided to put a shield generator on Endor to protect the second Death Star. Endor also took place in the Battle of Endor, which saw combat from rebels trying to break the shield generator and the Empire trying to protect it. Endor is 4,900 kilometers in diameter, roughly 2.5 times smaller than Earth. Aside from Ewoks, Endor also had other native species including Duloc, Gorf, Wisty, and Yuzum. Endor made its first canon appearance in Return of the Jedi, the third of the original trilogy. Next up, we have Coruscant, the most advanced and populated planet on this list by far. It's like downtown Tokyo, but like the entire planet. Coruscant greatly resembles Earth, having a rotation period of 24 hours and an orbital period of 365 days. The diameter of Coruscant is just around 500 kilometers off of Earth's. The one difference is the population of Coruscant is in the trillions. The vast amount of years of urban development gave Coruscant the technological advantage it has over other planets. Coruscant is located in the Core Worlds region and is sometimes referred to as Imperial Center. Way back in ancient times, Coruscant was populated by the Tuang and the Zhel. Though we don't know exactly what happened, Coruscant is now widely recognized as the homeworld of humans. Coruscant also held home to the Battle of Mace Windu and Emperor Palpatine, where Mace Windu was killed from Palpatine's lightning. Some notable places on Coruscant include the Grand Republic Medical Facility, the Imperial Executive Building, the Jedi Temple, and the Imperial Senate Building. Coruscant first appeared in a scene added to Return of the Jedi, but we see it all throughout the prequels. Finally, we have Bespin, a gas giant also located in the Inuit sector. It was home to rare Tibana gas which was harvested throughout the planet. It was also home to both the humans and Ugnaught species. Bespin remained unaffiliated in the Galactic Civil War, but the Empire seized the planet for their own. After the Empire's defeat at Endor, Bespin regained their freedom. Bespin also was in an open rebellion against the evil First Order after the Battle of Exegol. Bespin was also home to the charming Lando Calrissian, the original owner of the Millennium Falcon. Aside from this, Bespin had other scenes in the Star Wars films, including Han's freezing into carbonite and Boba Fett's ship. Bespin made its first appearance in The Empire Strikes Back. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into Star Wars' most interesting planets. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing. It's free and it really helps me out. With that, I hope you have an amazing day. Peace.